All right, it's Wednesday, 11 o'clock. It's time to party on. Welcome to Marvel Movie Talk. I am your host, Christian Blatt Esquire. As always, my co-host, Eric. Party on, Eric.
Party on, Christian.
And refusing to participate in a bit like this, I'll just say hi to Michael Shirley. I just know better than to try to drag you into my bit. You know, just your eyes say it all, how little you approve of this kind of nonsense. But hello, Michael. Good to see you.
Party on, Christian.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for playing the home game. We do have a very party-centric episode of What If to talk about, What If Episode 7. And we do have the trailer for Hitmonkey. Remember Hitmonkey? No, a lot of you don't. Some of you never even heard of it. But Hitmonkey, I believe all 10 episodes on November 17th on Hulu. So we'll talk a little bit about that as we go along. Let's dive right into What If Episode 7. Cami Egan, I thought this episode was very funny. I agree. This takes the crown for most fun episode of What If. It got close. I don't know. I still really like that Doctor Strange episode, but I feel like if I was going to watch one again, it might be this one. But what did you think, Count Party, Eric?
I feel like I understand the world through the eyes of Michael Shirley now. Because I was watching this one, and I was like, oh, I suppose that's supposed to be funny, instead of laughing. And I there were a couple great moments in there, but I got to tell you, and I watched it twice, I didn't really laugh very much. I enjoyed what they tried to do. There was a lot of moments I was like, I guess that's, I don't know, maybe almost funny, but it didn't grab me. And I even thought like some of the voice acting was a little kind of shrill. So
yeah, especially that hack that they got to be Thor. That guy was terrible.
I think they got the other Hemsworth. I think Phil Hemsworth is the one.
Jimmy Hemsworth, yeah. I think the best thing about it was ruined by the opening credits. As soon as you saw Seth Green's name in the credits, you're like, oh, we're going to get Howard the Duck again. And I think the reveal of Howard would have been funny if I didn't already know he was going to be there.
Well, despite the presence of Howard the Duck, which for me would always be, I don't care if it's a serious episode like the Doctor Strange one, there's never a bad time for Howard the Duck, but it wasn't enough for me. So
you weren't moved by the nuptials with Darcy? I thought you would have.
I was fascinated by those. It's particularly the wedding night is the scene. I think I would have really paid extra money. I would have gone premium to see that.
We know from the Howard the Duck movie that he does keep protection in his wallet, so he is always prepared. As I mean, assuming that the Howard the Duck movie is canon, because why wouldn't it be?
How could it not be?
Yeah, Michael. Did you have any fun with this one, with the party episode?
I loved this episode. This was my very favorite episode of all. I was laughing the whole time.
Would you have liked to have party with Thor?
Yes. I was like, when I saw the title of it, I was already there for it. Because it was like, what if Thor was an only
child? You meant like, wait, no, Loki. Yeah. But then were you disappointed when Loki was actually in it?
Actually, I enjoyed him in this. I think
as Frost Giant Loki, you enjoyed him?
Yeah, I think this is the only iteration of Loki I really liked.
Well, to be fair, this and Alligator. I mean, Alligator's still pretty great.
Yeah. I mean, as Tom Hiddleston, this is the only iteration of Loki I've liked. It was basically like if Thor was me. It was great. I loved it. It was so fun. I felt like I got a lot of like affirmations from the lack of Brie Larson participating. If you watch previous shows, you probably know where I'm going to go with this. I think because she like when you have all these other people that are really, really big actors like participate and do this voice work, and then she just like straight up won't, when all she has to do is like spend like a few hours reading some lines in a closet or whatever. Like it's very obvious she's gonna be depowered. in the Marvels. Rogue's going to be the new Captain Marvel. I think they'll keep Carol Danvers around. But for me, like, just her lack of participation really reaffirmed like what I think is going to happen going forward with her character.
Tom Holland also hasn't participated in this series. So do you agree with the idea that he's on his way out as Spider-Man after the next movie?
I don't think that it has to be like some kind of like equation or like algorithm. I think he's
That's
just
fair.
like more young and like I mean that's still, isn't Sony still involved with that, right?
Yeah, so there are questions as to whether or not he could participate in
Right.
a Marvel Studios animated series as opposed to a
Exactly.
Sony Studios. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, and you know, it might just
I
be easier.
assume it was probably more for that reason.
Yeah,
Also, he's like really, you know, young and fun. I feel like he'd do it if they asked him to. She's
Yeah.
more like serious actress. So,
Yeah. All right, I just
I-
don't want you to be disappointed when Brie Larson is still Captain Marvel 5 years from now. She's
I
been in
don't
two.
mind her.
She's been in 2 movies so far. So
Zia
odds
is
are
the
she's not
one.
in it. Zia
Zia
hates
is
her.
the. I
Zia-
have no problem with her. I just think that she's too powerful, and
I
I don't
agree
think
with that,
she's going to
yeah.
stick around. And I'm also going to throw this out there, being that I think that Rogue is going to come in the Marvels, and she's going to be a mutant, one of our first mutants. I think
Sure.
we're gonna see Storm in Black Panther 2. Maybe in just like a tiny little way, like maybe
Yeah.
just like a reference, a picture.
Especially with bringing
30
in Michaela. Yeah, Michael, bringing in Michaela Cole, the actress who just won an Emmy for writing. Oh gosh, what's that show called, Christian? That
I will
she
destroy
went in-
you.
Yeah, story. Yeah. I
Oh, I don't know what
completely
the
agree.
show is called. I was just talking about how I'm going to to destroy you. Is that the name of the show? as
Well,
well?
that 11:36. You're welcome to me. To my
Can't
remains.
wait.
But yeah, Michaela Cole just got announced as being part of Wakanda Forever, and yeah, Michael. I mean, she's big enough now that I don't see her as, you know, Army General Number 5.
Mhm.
I think she's Rogue.
And
I'm sorry, Thor.
they've been teasing this for so long, and I just saw a new Black Panther series coming out, and Storm's on the cover, and it's about this girl he encounters like traveling through like Wakanda, who can control the weather, whose name is Storm. Like, it's coming.
Maybe it's Storm then.
I mean, we don't have Chadwick Boseman, so they've got to really throw in like something great for Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And Eric, I know that this episode had it inspired your creative side.
Oh no, not again!
What, you sound disappointed, Michael?
But you get
there
to
are some-
see it before I do, and sometimes it makes my hands sweat when I see what he put.
this one doesn't. There actually aren't. I'll let you know that there aren't anything that there is not anything that involves you.
This is
time around.
surely free.
Yeah.
well,
So we'll start off. Let me start off with this one, and then you can guide me from there because this is the one that I have ready to go. So
It's a great album, by the way.
Yeah.
Party Hard by Andrew WK.
You can never have enough Andrew WK in your diet. I've said this before. I expect that to be on my tombstone. Yeah. So first of all, he's engaged to Kat Dennings,
Mhm.
and
Good for him.
clearly, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Listen, that's definitely marrying
Hey,
up. For
good
him.
for her. No, you cannot put on an Andrew WK album without like turning your phone
Look,
upside down.
he's with one broke girl, and I'm impressed. Good for him.
The right broke girl.
He's with the
Yeah,
right
that-
one. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't know his work, first of all, shame on you, you uncultured
Yeah.
swine. Secondly, every other song's got the word party in it. Party hard, party till you puke. It's time to party. This guy clearly, the spirit of Andrew WK is very strong in this episode. And I was saddened that none of his lyrics made it into the episode in some capacity. I think Marvel writers, big miss on that one.
It's probably expensive to license. If I had to guess.
I also think it's best to leave like celebrity relationships out of stuff, because then you end up with like a lot of movies that were made in the 90s.
True that.
Yeah, I mean, you had Brad Pitt on an episode of Friends, and obviously he did movies with Angelina Jolie, and now it's just too sad to watch all of it. So, I'm so emotionally invested in those.
Yeah, I really feel so bad for him.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine having to go through life with that mug. Could you imagine?
Oh, I mean, him and the Elephant Man had this exact same problem.
They were both played by Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool! I like that.
I know you did. So, you also sent me some images that imply that you found some of this episode to be derivative of a different Disney product or property, I guess is the term I'm looking for. So it'll be hard for you to call for them. So I'll just cycle through the three of these.
Just put them up there. I can explicate. In case you haven't seen the Pixar short Partysaurus Rex, which imagined what if Rex, though he is a fool to the toys in Andy's room, what if he is a hero to the bathroom toys? And so, first of all, notice the helmet, and then literally when the hammer came back, I think it was almost like it had the same swag. And the whole idea here was that Rex was considered a party pooper. They used that line repeatedly, which this episode did as well. And so Rex gets encouraged, and he even throws a foam party. Once again, another reference they had in this. So as I'm watching,
you think that no one who works for Disney understands what a party is like, and then they have a handbook on parties,
right? Yeah, their only basis of understanding a party is from this one lesser seen, lesser known, lesser quality Pixar short.
To be fair, Michael, you would never want to be referred to as a party pooper, right? That would really damage your reputation if anyone considered for even a second that you were a party pooper, right?
I've never ever been the first to fall asleep at a party.
Well, I've never not been the first to fall asleep at a party. So
so how many times, Christian, have you woken up with like penises drawn on your face?
Oh, I usually showed up at the party that way. So I
cut it off at the path.
Yeah, you just knew it was going to happen. So you just yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Michael.
I used to when people would fall asleep at parties, I would draw Sarah Jessica Parker's face on their foot. It was always looked like her. It never didn't.
It never
Michael,
didn't.
Can you please share that photo with everyone in this room?
Yeah,
please?
Even if you don't have any photos and you can just
I'll redo it.
Please draw Carrie Bradshaw for us.
It's very easy.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it.
And because he's not here today, I'll volunteer Jeff to take that drawing of yours to a tattoo artist and get it on his shoulder. If he was here,
on his foot.
Oh, on his foot?
God.
All right. If that's what you want.
As tribute, we give you Jeff.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for my offering.
Yeah. So they're Partysaurus Rex, and I know Eric has he inundated me with some other things that we may or may not get to this week. One of them involves Jeff, and if Jeff ever does the show again,
Jeff is too special to have Jeff without him being in the room.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. So in any case, so I think that it was interesting that we got Party Thor because, after Endgame, the PC way to refer to Fat Thor was Bro Thor. And this really was Bro Thor. I'm like, I love this Thor. I want whole movies for him. And I did like the fact that Jane Foster was just as smitten by him, even with him being, far less charming, although he did say she had nice eyes. So there was that. And I mean, to Michael's point, if Natalie Portman is doing this, where does Brie Larson think she ranks, that she doesn't need to do this if Natalie Portman has, agreed to do it? I mean, she's a princess, for God's sake,
Heck, they even got Colby Smulders.
Yeah, I know that was a shock that they got Colby Smulders. Yeah. I guess during a wardrobe change on Stumptown, she just spoke into an app on her phone and then sent it to them. That's probably what happened. In general, I thought that I thought there was a lot of fun stuff in here. I liked that we got Darcy and Jane. You know, I mean, I don't know how much I needed Jane, but I thought it was a fun angle for the story. And you know, this was the sort of random. You know, this is a fun aside, and it's definitely just a silly one. This one, you can ask the question, well, why do they need to tell the story? And then, you know, like the one that I didn't like where everybody gets killed. And I was just like, well, this one, it's just fun and it's funny. And you get to have Nebula making jokes. You know, I got to go talk to my dad, or my dad's calling me. All right. You know, it wasn't a funny joke, but it was a joke. You know, I mean, she was missing an eye. You know, I don't know how funny you want her to be able to be. And Cami Egan agrees. Can we have more of Darcy? I mean, we should have had more of her in WandaVision. You know, I mean, she was there and then she kind of disappeared for a while. But I agree with that. In any case, I don't know. I thought that I liked some of the asides. I like how we got a line from Taika Waititi, and then he proceeded to demolish Nick Fury. I thought that was kind of funny. You know, that you get Sam Jackson and then he gets killed after a line. But yeah. So Eric, you just didn't have fun with this one. Is it because you hate parties? Is that what it comes down to?
Or maybe I'm just jealous. It's been a long time since I was at a foam party, and those days feel like they're farther.
You've been to a foam party?
I am a foam party, Michael.
Yeah, like if you remember in Ghostbusters when they blow up the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, that's the kind of foam party. Yeah, they used to have foam parties at Limelight in New York. I'm sure you used to go there all the time. That's where I remember it.
Fluff whipped topping does count as a foam party, by the way, Christian. You taught me that.
Ooh, yeah, sexy.
Right. Fluffer Nutter. Cami Egan, what I like most was Jeff Goldblum provided his voice as the Grandmaster and kept the scooter. And why was Korg sucking on a pacifier? Come on. Haven't you ever been to a party? That was actually
that's a club thing right
there.
That's
a 90, yeah.
Michael, do you have a pacifier that you bring?
Or did you have one in like 1999? Let's ask a better question.
No, you'd have it today.
I had one in 1999, like on a necklace for looks, but no, I'm not like a ecstasy person. No.
You're our ecstasy.
Yeah. You know, you can't go wrong.
I don't want to hug nobody against like my better judgment.
Yeah, and I think that it definitely gets to like just the silly point where it's like he has to like try and clean up the earth because his mom is there. And by the way, where was Rene Russo? Like, really, you know, again, like you can't just say a couple lines. Wouldn't that be fun? You know, you really, I mean, I guess, look, she created work for a voice actor, so I suppose that I shouldn't.
Did you really need her? I feel like she probably was thinking, you guys really need me? Come on.
That's true. Whoever's doing the budget probably felt that way as well. You know, they were just like, yeah, I don't know if we really need her.
Maybe that's why Brie Larson wasn't in it. If I'm wrong about the Marvels, but I feel like that would be the only way I'd be wrong.
I don't see why she would, have needed too much money. You know, I mean,
maybe she's pissed what they did to her girl Scarlet.
I don't know, but no, because this would have been long before that. You know what I mean? Like they would have recorded this so long ago. In terms of Eric hating parties, there is evidence of you having attended a party once.
Oh no!
You provided with me, and we will see it allegedly, we'll see it momentarily.
The darkness of my soul is what we're looking at right now.
That is clearly how much you that definitely showed us the darkness that lives inside.
It's like
yeah,
there actually isn't photo proof of Eric ever going to a party. That's what it looks like.
that was the joke. It doesn't exist.
It's me sitting alone with a jar of fluff, and that's my phone party. In a very large ladle.
Oh, I was gonna say, would you use a spoon or a fork? But you use a ladle.
Yeah, I mean, a ladle is definitely the way to go. You know? Yeah. So here's proof of Eric at a party. Yeah.
So I think the wig is really on point, by the way, in that picture. Clearly, this was not a wig I had previously used as another costume. Clearly, specific point on.
Clearly, this isn't your Lebowski wig. Yeah, there's 0% chance that you didn't also have the robe for Lebowski as well. I don't know. I mean, I think it's definitely it is silly, and I think that there were no outright laughs for me, but some of it. I watched it at like 5 a.m, so that probably had something to do with it. It's because I couldn't, but I don't know. And I mean, there's plenty of stuff that I thought was funny. I mean, the fact that, Captain Marvel comes back and, plays into his, we're just trying to do some learning, and the, again, it was fun. And we got Crossbones for a minute, and he was just looking to blow stuff up. So, yeah, I mean, this was, again, it was just fun. It was definitely a trifle, the Doctor Strange one I liked so much, I think, because it was, some deep storytelling. But I mean, this is definitely the most fun out of all of them. So if there's 3 more episodes left, so if one more is fun, that'll be great. But allegedly we're getting sequels at some point, but the weeks, they are a dwindling. So there's not much left. So Eric, as our resident party pooper, I know you'll need to leave momentarily, but do you have any? So you watched it twice, so you have to have some things that stand out, either things that you did like, or we love to dwell in the negative here. If you want to call out something that very specifically we're like, well, this is really what I didn't like, please tell us.
I do love when she called him White Snake. I thought that was that was nice. Made me talk out loud, truly out loud, and I watched it at probably 2 a.m, so I might have woken up a dog with my laughter at that. And anytime we got Howard the Duck, I also agree. I love that they had so many of the voice actors. Once again, I feel like we keep getting spoiled with the fact that you look at that. I mean, even before the episode begins, I actually found myself rewinding because I realized I didn't look at the opening credits. But when you see those names, you're like, holy crap! Like they really. To Marvel's credit, they're putting a lot into these stories, even a trifle like this, as you called it. I'll give them credit. I mean, it's like they're not doing anything half-assed with the show. I mean, they get the actors, and Brie Larson's missing out on a party. So, and if anything, it is. I hope wherever she is, she's watching this and feeling a bit of a fool.
She's feeling like that she really should have been there. She should have been there for the party.
She missed the party of the year with Raina. So again, I really like that they did this episode. So it's not one of those like I feel like I don't know, some weird purist or like, oh, how dare they do something funny? Like, why not do a funny what if?
Absolutely.
I just wish I laughed a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that there could have been more laugh a minute, but Michael, it seemed like there were no shortage of laughs for you, though.
No, I loved it. I loved how they really took advantage of animation with the multi-continental punching match.
I did like that. That was fun.
That's right.
And
that's sort of like it's not even like the theme of the episode. It's more like, well, what if Captain Marvel and Thor fought? It's like within the what if, it's like, let's see what that would be like, What were you going to say, Michael? I just wanted to interject that.
Oh, I also thought it was really fun that if he hadn't had, life with his brother, he would have made actual friends sooner and been seeing him how he'd already met up with the Guardians and just Howard the Duck, just all these random awesome times he had without Loki in his life. And it was
Yeah. So you're saying that everyone's life is enriched by not having Loki as a part of it. Is that what you're getting at?
Yes. Well, I mean, it seemed like he and Loki were friends, but like, yeah, him. Yeah, who needs that for your brother?
Yeah, but he's not the kind of friend that's going to help you move, which is unfortunate because he's a giant. So it would actually be like, yeah, can you just like balance this couch on your finger? That would actually be a huge help.
And we haven't even gotten to the best part of the episode, the very last scene, which we should probably like talk about when Eric leaves because it is the really fun part.
Well, yeah, because we don't want to have any fun conversations with Eric, but I do know Eric needs to leave, so we will talk about that in a moment. There's some stuff that I liked for the way that it ended. As always, as every week, Eric, can you give us a Jerry Springer final thought?
My final thought is this: I'm always happy to be around y'all. I'm sorry I have to leave you early now.
What a cop out.
Christian makes a point of scheduling things so he gets less of me. So I'm going to do my own show that's going to start airing 1 minute after I leave this show as a competitor to you guys because I feel
that's a great idea. That is a great idea.
Me and the three people in the comments who want to hang out with a true party Thor, you'll find me there. But until then, you can find me
Marvel Film Talk.
Right. Marvel Talk Film will be my one. But that's what it is. Anyways, I will party on without y'all. Be good. And
nice.
Stay good.
And people can chat with Eric at Count Eric Connor and other voices. His film is available. I was going to say it's available wherever. Amazon.
On Amazon. Not the thriller, the other one. The one that Michael Shirley called Filled with Subtitles. So, yes, if I've never heard a better plug than that. So, thank you, one and all. Good seeing your faces.
When you watch a movie, do you like to read? This is the movie for you. So. Well, thank you, Eric. We will see you next week. And by the next time we see Eric, I'll have seen Venom 2. So, there'll be that.
There it is.
I wanted to make sure I held one of my very popular press screenings over you, and this is the best kind of press screening where they tell me no guests allowed. So I don't even have to pick one of you.
You must have made a bad impression last time.
Well, it's print. No,
this is when you brought Kate.
It's a different studio. It's Sony, and so it specifically says on there. He just missed the fact that. Craig Robinson would join the Count cast.
I like that he missed it.
Yeah, I know. He'll never actually see it. Maybe I'll screen grab this and send it to him.
No, I should never know.
So I know he can't come with me to see Venom 2. But it's also like a Tuesday evening, and he's probably teaching if I know him. So. I don't think I'll be allowed to talk about it by next Wednesday because Thursday.
Oh, what a shame!
I know. So
that'll just bother me so much.
I know you won't get to hear me talk about it, but
we'll just talk about the fact that you can't talk about it.
We'll definitely talk about the fact that I can't talk about it. Yeah, exactly. That we'll save this last part. So speaking of last parts, what I did enjoy. There's sort of this moment where, the Watcher is speaking and it's all like, Thor and Jane are going to go on a real date. And he's like, they all lived happily ever after. And then he's like, what? Like, even he knows that, like, I don't tell stories that end happily ever after. And so is this the part that you liked where it was not happily ever after?
I just enjoyed all of it. It like turned this on its head and it made it more like a comic book. In fact, I went through my comic books. It inspired me to go through and pull out all my what ifs, which is very easy because I have everything in alphabetical order, like a total psycho.
I mean, but why? But if you're gonna have that many comic books, you need to find them. Why wouldn't they be in alphabetical? I started alphabetizing my comics when I was like 8. So yeah, I'm with you all the way on that.
Would you like to see my 4?
Absolutely, I would love to see
5. Those. 5 I have. Okay. I brought.
I remember this. Yep.
Number 23. What if the all new all different X-Men had never existed, and it shows you the other team they would have had. I need to go through. I don't even know if I've read any of these actually. What if Phoenix had not died, which I think we've been talking about.
There's a few variations on that story. There's Phoenix the Untold Story, which is what they actually planned for Uncanny 137, and then there's that one, which is that one's from like the early 90s, I think.
Well, that one was 32. I think it must have been a two-parter because this is 33 and is What If Phoenix Rose Again.
Oh yeah, that seems about right. Okay, those are good.
What if the Invisible Girl had died? Which seems like that probably would be a pretty good one.
Yeah, that looks like that's an older one. That's the first run of
42.
But that's the original series.
Mm-hmm.
That because the other ones you were holding up were from the 90s series. That's the
$1.25, and this was $1.
Yeah, that's how you tell the difference.
Yeah, and the most current one, What If Blink of course, I have this one. Generation X had not died.
Of course, if there's a Generation X themed What If, that's what you would have.
Yeah, and they actually made a show about this. It's called The Gifted. It did go well.
I've really blocked it out, but Michael, I feel like we've watched The Gifted.
I know we have.
Yeah. Oh boy, I know that was how we met. I think we had to start like talking about The Gifted like right away when we started doing Marvel TV Weekly, because it was either the first or second episode. It was like every week is like, when we're going to talk about The Gifted. And on top of that, The Gifted had its own after show.
Yeah. Who needed that? I didn't. What was Andy's sister's name in the show? I forget. Fenris.
Was it Claire? The two Fenris?
Yeah, well, I don't know. She's gone on to do some pretty good things since then. Andy, I haven't seen him in anything. But,
Lauren, I think, is her name.
Yeah, she's
Lauren Strucker. Yes.
Yes, she's basically the Laura Palmer of Big Sky.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Well, good for her. I'd seen her on the Goldbergs before that. She was a recurring, not a series regular, but she was a recurring on the Goldbergs before.
I had seen her on Gotham, and I thought it was funny to see her.
I do remember that now, because she was like some girl that Bruce Wayne on Gotham. Mm-mm.
Yeah, even as a kid,
no, thank you. I could not handle that.
But Bruce, always the womanizer.
Yeah, now see, that part's true. Even like really young nerdy Bruce, still had he had Selena Kyle and that girl, and he always had women crawl through his window.
It was an odd casting choice. I will say.
Well, let's tidy up the What If, and do you think that we'll get to see what happens next? When at the end of this What If. Do you think that they want to continue this story, or maybe they'll continue all the stories in one big mashup episode? What do you think about the way they left the ending, that we didn't actually get the happy ending and Thor's got a big fight on his hands now?
Oh, we're definitely getting a part 2 to have Vision in Ultron with all of Thanos' stones. That is like Transformers. Like, they're really pushing this Gundam kind of like.
Yeah, although I wish that they would really push something that we all want, which is Gangnam Style, but that's just me. The idea that we would get like a big showdown with Searcher, I think would be cool. I don't know. I think the animation from it would look cool, and I hope Jane and Darcy get away. They don't want to get caught in the crossfire of that.
I think they'll be essential.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, we've got 3 more episodes, and that's a crazy thing. We're going to be in a little bit of a lull for a month, because as we alluded to at the top of the show, the only other thing that we have coming on TV before Hawkeye is something that many people forgot about, because the entire Hulu deal was supposed to be 5 shows, and 3 of them got scrapped. including what would have been the best one, I think, The Offenders. Our friend Jordan Blum would have been in charge of The Offenders, the crossover of all all four of the other series into the fifth series, and we won't see that. We won't get the Howard the Duck show. We won't get the character I always called Tigra, but apparently it's Tigra, which, boy, that makes more sense. But I just wanted Dazzler, and in any, even if it was going to be like a silly, premise for an animated show, the idea that I was going to get Dazzler on my TV, I was like, great, sign me up. But then that went away. We did get MODOK, which we talked about earlier this year, and now we've got Hitmonkey coming. And tell me a little bit about on a scale of 0 to 100, Michael, how familiar are you with Hitmonkey heading into this trailer that came out earlier this week?
I did not know this was a Marvel property.
Right. And so did it even like ring the bell of like, oh yeah, when they announced those Hulu shows, I guess that this was one of them, or did it not even?
I did not remember. Yeah. No, I did not remember this one. But you were saying how all of them were going to meet as the Offenders.
The Offenders. It was going to be.
Were they going to combine all the animation styles, whereas it was like kind of like
that's
meta?
I don't know that it got that far.
It had to, I think.
Yeah, I don't know how it would have worked. That would have been a good question for Jordan when we talked to him. I could tweet at him and see if I can get an answer. I mean, not right now. But yeah, I mean, look, I don't know that much about it. It's a wacky character. And, we've got America's sweetheart for this week. Jason Sudeikis is a voice on it. Ted Lasso himself. And Olivia Munn, the real Psylocke. And George Takei. Oh my! So look, I'm like, sure, all the episodes are going to be up at once on Hulu. I think I read that there's 10. So I will watch it because I'm intrigued by it because it seems different. It'll be short. And it's going to have to be better than Hellstrom. I mean, let's just really be honest here when we talk about this, But
were they going to be part of it too?
No, Hellstrom was for Hulu, but it was not part of that same universe. Great question, Kemi. Again, does Hitmonkey talk? It looks pretty wild. It does look wild. I don't know if he talks. He didn't seem to talk in it. There was a lot of talking around him. But we'll know in a couple months, I guess.
They're gonna tell us like someone like Brad Pitt's the voice of Hitmonkey, but all Hitmonkey will say is like, It's kind of like Vin Diesel as Groot, or Marilyn Manson as like the smiley face people in New Mutants. Or always got to go back to New Mutants.
I mean, we hadn't talked about it in a little while. And I mean, it's like some of the guest stars in like early episodes of South Park, like George Clooney was the voice of a dog, so he just like barked a couple times, stuff like that. Maybe that's what we'll get. But definitely gonna check it out. And now, Ghost, I remember that you loved Hellstrom, and I won't at you. I wanted to at you. It lost me as it went along, but it actually, to me, it started out decently, but
I didn't like him. I liked her.
Yeah, she was great. Actually, I agree that part was great. So yeah, I would like to see her again. I mean, obviously, I don't think as Hellstrom's sister, but I guess she's a Hellstrom. Go ahead.
Real big problem with his acting, as you probably remember. I felt like he should have been on like a CW show or something.
Yeah, well, maybe season 7 of Riverdale. We don't know. Maybe.
I finally figured out why the acting on those shows are so bad.
On CW shows?
Yeah, because the C for CW stands for CBS.
Well, they are the same company.
I just figured that out last night.
Yeah. You just figured it out last night.
I typed in what does the CW stand for, and I was like, CBS. Oh, it all makes sense now.
You're like, oh yeah, it's CBS and
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers, yeah. In terms of some other Marvel related news before we wind things down, the first is that Disney Plus Day will be on November 12th, the holiday that we all didn't know we needed, but
What is that?
it's the anniversary of Disney Plus. It's
Ooh.
the 2-year anniversary, I guess. So one of the gifts that they're going to give us is to
Me?
all subscribers will get Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings that day. That's not premiere access. That's just you'll have it. Like
Only that day?
no, starting that day. Yeah, that's the first day. Yeah, that's the day it premieres. That and Jungle Cruise, which I know you've been itching to watch Jungle Cruise. Well, no, the difference with Shang-Chi is that Shang-Chi got a theatrical release. So this is like instead of, because like all their stuff's going to go to Disney Plus. They're not going to make a deal for HBO Max, I mean, except to bring it back to New Mutants. That had to go to HBO Max because that was the deal that Fox had made years earlier,
Mm-hmm.
So that's neither here nor there. So the fact that you'll be able to watch it in your house.
I'll watch it.
You'll watch it at that point. I mean, there's I feel like we're going to see him in other movies, so I think that you need to, see what's going on. So that's kind of the big news on there. We already talked about Hawkeye last week. The Primetime Emmy Awards were held, and hopefully nobody did what I did. And
Super Spreader.
What's that?
Super Spreader.
Well, that's what Seth Rogen said at the very beginning of there, that it seemed like a not safe event. And they were very quickly to point out that no, it's as safe as Obama's birthday party. So there it was. Canceled. No, he still had it. He still had his birthday party.
Still in the hush hush.
Yeah, well, not hush hush. Erykah Badu trying to blow his spot up, but anyway. So yeah, and WandaVision did not win. It won some technical awards, but Catherine Hahn didn't win.
I was so surprised she did not win.
You were not even remotely surprised by that.
I think she was. Did you see her? I think she was drunk.
Oh, I mean, probably, especially after she didn't win. Come on.
Oh, she knew she wasn't going to win.
Yeah, and obviously Elizabeth Olsen was there, also didn't win. So
I thought that was a courtesy nomination, personally.
It might have been, but Kevin Feige was there, and there was one of the rare moments of the night that was entertaining was Bowen Yang trying to walk in heels, making sure that Kevin Feige saw that he's clearly able to be a superhero if he can walk around like that. So that's how I knew Kevin Feige was there, because Bowen Yang called it out. But Feige, he had his speech tucked into his suit jacket. He was all ready. He was. Just
Do you think they know already that they're going to win?
Not usually. No, I think that. I used to be in show business. I went to the Emmys 4 times.
Oh, all right.
I went for one for each network. And I was actually never in show business. It's just my wife got to go and I got to go with her. So, that was the fun part. But yeah, I mean, look, it's disappointing for people who like those shows. But honestly, when genres that I like don't win, Mandalorian didn't win anything either. Favreau was there. He was ready. He was like, oh, yeah, come on. The way that season 2 of The Mandalorian ended, he's like, they're gonna give me director nod for that. Nope. I'm just gonna give everything to Ted Lasso and The Crown. No time for Marvel, no time for Star Wars.
Am I really missing out on this Ted Lasso thing?
I don't know that you would think.
Yeah.
It
doesn't. What I was kind of getting.
And when I watched the first season, it took me 3 or 4 to get into it, which I'll never do for a drama. Like a comedy, sometimes I'll do it. Although I was out 3 episodes into Schitt's Creek, and I was reminded by Facebook that I tried to watch it. I watched 3, and I'm like, am I going to start laughing at any point? And everybody's like, no, not for a while. I'm like, all right, then I'm just gonna bow out. So
I want to say you're not alone in that. I watched it, and I got to the last season. I was like, I don't care. And I haven't watched the last season of it.
Yeah. So Cami Egan gets so tired of the award shows because it's so predictable on who's going to win. Yeah, and it's I mean they're not that fun to watch, So, it's more like if Oh, and then Ivan Soto chimes in. I hate the Emmys. They've ignored great genre shows like Fringe and 12 Monkeys. We were just speaking about One Monkey. The 12 Monkeys show on Sci-Fi I actually thought was great. I liked that show. And Fringe for a moment in time was my favorite show.
Joshua Jackson always getting the short end of the stick.
Look, I mean, everybody has a little Pacey in their heart. So that's what we really need. Anyway, that's kind of the roundup on all the news. Somewhere when we've got shows to fill after What If ends and before we get Eternals, we'll have to do some Halloween ideas, maybe some favorite costumes. Let us know what you want us to talk about in October. You can leave comments in the chat. You can send messages to us on social media, and Ghost 8386 is looking to do some wagering on Hitmonkey versus Howard the Duck. That'd be awesome to see. Howard's not much of a fighter, is he?
I was like, that might be kind of rough.
Now, in the comics, he does know Duck Fu, which is obviously like Kung Fu, but for ducks. But I don't know that we've ever actually seen that on screen. Like, I think that the movie left that part of his skill set out. The 1986 movie. So
Venom's coming soon, right? How many more days do we have?
So Venom will be out for pedestrians who don't get to go to the press screening. It'll be out on October 1st. You'll get to go to the early bird, like night before screenings on September 30th. So the end of next week is when people will be able to see Venom.
I noticed in the trailers something very interesting. They're saying like a whole new universe. Do we think that Venom's gonna get pulled in?
I haven't had it spoiled yet, so if anybody has seen anything, don't say anything. We don't want to ruin it for anyone in the chat, but we also don't want to ruin it for me. There's an end credit scene or a mid credit scene that's apparently a big deal. So yeah, they did. Yeah, the way that
those choice of words were very interesting.
Yeah, so that makes me wonder. What are we going to see? And is the end credit scene from Venom something that's going to tie into Spider-Man: No Way Home? I guess we'll know in a week and a half, or 6 days.
Or you'll know.
I'll know in 6 days. Yeah, I'll know in 6 days.
You can tell me.
I sent Jeff a message. I'm like, you work for BuzzFeed. You should be able to get into this thing. I can't bring anyone, but he should be able to get himself in, right? But this is a great question that I don't know the answer to. Is there any truth to the 4 MCU movies that are supposed to be added to this phase? I mean, I think that they've got everything planned out. I think that they know how many movies are going to come out over the next 4 or 5 years, and they just haven't told us all of them. Like, they know when we'll get a Fantastic Four movie. They just don't want to tell us yet because it's too far off.
Oh, we don't even want to know when we're getting a.
I mean, look, you know what they say. They say fourth time's a charm, and for the Fantastic Four, that makes sense.
Technically, yes.
Cami Egan also says, I want to see Venom, but I'm more excited to watch The Many Saints of Newark, which is the Sopranos prequel, which I'm also looking forward to. But that'll also be available on HBO Max. So you can go to the movies for that, or you can watch it at home. Venom 2 is only in theaters, so you will have to see it there. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Craig Robinson, October content, perhaps looking at graphic novel content and doing a deep dive into specific storylines, or just covering other genre shows outside of Marvel. I don't know if I have time for other genre shows outside of Marvel.
I think they like our riffing,
today. We're basically the modern day Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin. I think people love us, or Hope and Crosby, or I don't know, Burns and Allen, Heckle and Jekyll. Yeah. But I like the idea of talking about specific storylines. That the old shows, we used to have to do stuff like that when there wasn't any new TV.
We had rules.
Yeah, we did have rules. There's like, you guys have to talk about something this week. I'm like, really? You want me to prepare for the show?
Christian hates constructive criticism from producers, by the way.
Constructive criticism is fine. Bad ideas from idiots is something that I've never appreciated. But we are out of time. So we appreciate everybody who has joined us in the chat. We appreciate Eric for being with us for about a half hour, and we'll see him next week. Maybe we'll see Jeff next week. I guess we'll have to see. And until then, Michael, how can people keep in touch with you?
You can find me on Instagram at I Hate Michael Shirley and on Twitter at Michael X Shirley. I beat you to it. You didn't expect me to do it. You didn't think I was going to even do it.
I didn't think you were going to do it.
I don't ever do it.
I know, but there's nobody else. It's just me and you at this point. So, yeah. And then Dominicus Saxon said, sweet show. And then he typed in Count Cast. Although, Michael, I think you would pronounce that a little differently, the Count Cast for the
I think Eric spelled it wrong, like when he was signing up.
It's entirely possible. And as always, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ChristianDMZ. And this Wednesday, that is today, we'll be doing our political show Biden Time at 1 o'clock. So a little bit more than an hour from right now, 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. So come on back for that, or just subscribe to the Bladtcast YouTube channel. You get all of our shows, BLADTCAST. We did a show last week, where we got the original Bladtcast gang together, and we talked about working with Norm Macdonald, who passed away last week. So you can find that show, a whole bunch of musician interviews and great content to fill your day at Bladtcast, BLADTCAST on YouTube. And you can always follow me and just talk to Michael and myself. And Ivan Soto with the great question. I missed the what if conversation. Why can't this be at 5 o'clock Eastern again? LOL. Talk to Eric. No, it's Eric. So Eric's a teacher, and so every few months his schedule just changes completely. So
like they say, those who can't,
those who count, teach.
You're so quick.
I tried. Eric teaches at a film school here in the Valley. So that's why we do the show when we do. But you can watch it on demand anytime. Ivan and everyone else, you can watch our thoughts on What If Episode 7. And you can join us next week for our conversation on What If Episode 8 and all the stuff that I won't say about Venom 2 next week on this show, Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. That is all the time we have for now. But as the great Stan Lee would say, Excelsior!